Hello, and welcome to your Urban Connection. Okay, let's get right into this story. Each year in Washington, there's an event called the uh, White House Correspondents' Dinner, and it's held in Washington, D.C., and they invite journalists from all over, from all of the media, and they usually have a host, and most of the time, the host is a comedian. Sometimes male, but sometimes female, but mostly male. And this year, the White House Correspondents Association had announced that the host would be uh, Amber Ruffin. Now, some of you may know Amber. She, at one time, had a show on the Peacock Network, and she also has done some work with CNN. Now, I want to show you Amber. We'll talk about her just a little bit here, and you will understand. Some of you know her, some of you may not. But this is Amber Ruffin right here. And let me enlarge this picture so you can get a better view of her. And I'll tell you a little bit about Amber. And it's an interesting situation. Now, she is a well-known comedian, and she's considered funny by an awful lot of people. And I'll just tell you one thing right off the bat, that you have to be well-known and you have to be considered funny by most people, especially if you're going to be a comedian, for the Correspondents Association to invite you to host their show. Now, just to give you an idea, some of the hosts that have been on there uh, and comedians will be uh, Stephen Colbert, uh, Noah, whatever I can't think of his last name, but he is Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah was one, and uh, there's been some others on there, but the whole host of the thing here is that they had invited this woman, and the president of the White House Correspondents Association. I'll show you a picture of him, and many of you might know him. His name is Eugene Daniel, and Eugene Daniel is a black male, and he is the guy that's going to be replacing uh, uh, the young lady that was just fired from MSNBC. And he's not started yet, but he's going to be the replacement for her, at least on weekends. I know. I'm not sure about during the week. But this is a picture of him, and he is widely known. He, I believe, is a reporter for Political, or he writes for Political. I'm not sure, but he is the president of the White House Correspondents Association. So he's the one that announced here a while back that the host for this year's show, which is April the 26th, would be the young lady I just showed you, Amber Ruffin. Now, here's the deal. Amber Ruffin went on a podcast a few days after being announced as being the host for this year's dinner and was asked several questions. Now, she was asked about what kind of performance she would give, and she mentioned to the questionnaire that she'd been told by the White House Correspondents' Dinner that they wanted her commentary or her jokes, or whatever, to be equally divided amongst the Republicans and the Democrats. Well, you know how comedians are. So Amber says, no, I'm not going to do that. She said, this administration are considered to be a bunch of murderers. And she said that they don't have a good sense of humor. She said they want to be treated equally by the media, which is what the media does. She says, but they're not entitled to that. So she says, there's no way that I'm going to do that. My attention is going to be on this president and this administration. Well, this didn't sit too well with the MAGA folks, and especially a member, maybe some members, of the president's cabinet. And one guy whose name is Taylor Budovich stated to and I assume to Mr. Daniel, who's the president, that he didn't take a liking to what he heard from Miss Amber Ruffin. He said she was a second-rate comedian and that she was full of hate, and he didn't think that any respectable, sensible journalist would want to go to that dinner. I have two issues with what Mr. Budovich said. First of all, whatever happened to freedom of speech, Mr. Budovich? The last I knew, Ms. Ruffin had every right to speak what she felt deep down in her heart. She had every right. There was nothing criminal about it. There was nothing threatening about it. There was nothing inappropriate about it. She is, after all, a human being, an American citizen, and a comedian. Now, that's the first thing. But the second problem that I have with Mr. Budovich, Budowich, I guess it is, Budowich, is who in the hell are you to talk about hate? When you work with the chief of hate every day you go to the White House or the Oval Office, Mr. Budowich, okay? You witness verbally and visually hate emanating from your boss each and every day. So who in the hell are you to talk about hate? And I'm going to tell you something. Let's just be real here. This was not about hate. That's not what he's objecting to. I'm going to tell you what the real story is here. And I'm going to put this woman's picture back up here, show you another picture. Look, the fact of the matter is, this woman is, as you can all see, a Black woman. That's strike number one. Strike number two, she's a member of the LGBT community. That's strike number two. Now, the third thing is that the president, the MAGA groups, but especially this administration, have a deep-seated hatred for Black women and women of all stripes that are LGBTQ. So that's the real reason they are against having her there. It has not a damn thing to do with hate, sir, because the last people that should be talking about any kind of hate should never be working in the White House. You cannot effectively use that. You can use it as a pretext, but you can't use that as the real reason for your distaste for this Black woman, sir. And you know it as well as I do. So stop playing the funny games. Now, here's a problem that I have. I'm going to go back to Mr. Eugene Daniels, because Mr. Eugene Daniels, as far as I'm concerned, did not do what he should have done. And I'll tell you why. Mr. Daniels capitulated to the Trump administration, and it's very, very disturbing. And I'm going to tell you why. This man is a Black man, as everybody can see. But what you can't see is he also is a member of the LGBTQ community. So why in the hell would he capitulate to the Trump administration and the Trump's officials? And this guy Buttigieg is a deputy chief of staff. So he's the deputy chief of staff to the chief of hate in America. But why in the hell would Mr. Daniel not stand up and speak up and be a real man? Because he knows better than most of us what and how this administration feels about Black people in general and LGBTQ people in total. He knows it. These are the number one and number two hate groups that emanate from the Trump administration. Okay? So these are the reasons they wanted this woman out. They used the pretext that it was her speech, that it was her comments about them being considered murders, about them not having a sense of humor. That's the real reason they want to be catered to. So these people bullied Mr. Eugene Daniels, I guess it is, into reversing a decision that the White House Correspondents Association had made just maybe 2 weeks prior to denouncing her and canceling her. Let's be real, man. I'm deeply disappointed in Mr. Daniels for not having this woman's back. When he's been there, he knows what the hell's going on. He works with these people. He talks with these people. He's a reporter for Politico. He's going to be doing a show on MSNBC where he's going to be dealing with these very same people. He knows what the hell they're all about. He knows what the real reason is. So why the hell wouldn't he be a man and stand up and fight for this woman and let the White House know that you don't pick and choose who our hosts are? You're not financing this. The taxpayers are not financing this. This is put on by the White House Correspondents Association. Not the White House, not the president, not the administration. So, Mr. Daniel, I'm very and deeply disturbed by your actions, sir. I've lost respect for you as a man. You know better. You're better than this, sir. And if you can't show any spine and any backbone to a White House here talking about your association's decision as to who they invite to be a host, how the hell are you going to stand up to them on a show on MSNBC, sir, when you're having those very same people as guests on? I guess maybe they'll come on your show. They might not even come on your show. But you will be dealing with these people as a reporter. How in the hell can you do it and expect us to have any respect for you as a reporter, that you will hold them and hold their feet to the fire, that you will ask them the tough questions, Mr. Daniels? Come on, man. You've got to be a man and man up. You've got to grow a pair, sir. If you want to play in this game, you're in the big time. Okay? So this woman deserves much better than what she's getting from you. All right? So folks, I just want you all to know that what's going on here and why these people are playing these funny games with this woman, okay, who has earned the right to host this show, was chosen. Nobody twisted your arm, Mr. Daniels. Nobody twisted the association's arm to reach out to this woman. Okay? You did it because you felt she was qualified. You felt that she was uniquely in a position, okay, to do the job that is required for somebody to host this show, and that is to be funny, that is to deliver jokes, and those jokes you don't tell her what to say and who to say it about. You give her, if you should have enough confidence, or if you've invited her, you give her free reign, okay, to do a show without any control from your association. That's what you do, Mr. Daniels. Come on, man. You know better than that. You wouldn't let anybody do that to you, I'm sure. You wouldn't let anybody tell you what to say. Do you let anybody tell you what questions to ask when you're talking to members of the MAGA movement, the Trump administration, the Trump cabinet? Do you let people tell you what questions to ask them, how to talk to them? If you do, you don't deserve to be in this field of journalism, sir, because you're compromising yourself. So, and that's exactly what you're doing here when you bow down to some bullying by the biggest bullier this country's ever seen, and allow this stuff to happen, sir. So, it bothers me to see a grown man like yourself, and it doesn't make any difference if you're straight or gay. I don't care. If you're going to be in this position as a journalist, and if you're going to be matching your wits with people from the Trump administration, you know what they're all about. You know what they stand for. And if you're going to be in that position, you should be able to stand your ground, sir. Okay? And if you can't do that, you need to change professions. And soon. I was kind of looking forward to seeing you on MSNBC, but I'm not so sure that you're up to the job. I'm not sure you can match wits with Lawrence O'Donnell. Okay, I'm not sure that you can match wits with Michael Steele. Okay, I'm not so sure you can match wits with well, I can't think of any, but many of the people there at MSNBC. So you might be biting off more than you can chew. Now, I hope that's not the case. But until you prove differently, that's the feeling and thoughts that I have about you at this time, Mr. Daniel. Shame on you. I don't like what I see in this case right here. And you're the president of the White House Correspondents Association. You, I'm sure, had a choice or a say in making the final decision as to who to invite as the host. Stand by your woman. Okay? You don't give in to a bully, because the bully will never give in to you as long as he knows that he can effectively bully you. Okay? All right, folks, that's my show. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you the next time.